الله ربيع الرحيم شريعك والأسلام سبحان الربيع العلم سبحان الربيع العلم.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible? Is that possible?
but also a land of economic contrasts, of great wealth and great poverty. A fertile earth, mountains rich in nitrate, coal, and copper. The nation's wealth concentrated in the hands of a very few. 3 years ago, the Popular Unity government of Dr. Salvador Allende Gozan's set out to radically reorganize Chile's economy. On September 11, 1973, the Chilean armed forces overthrew the government. President Allende and his closest aides are dead, and the new military junta has initiated what Newsweek magazine called a reign of terror. A Washington Post editorial estimates that more than 10,000 people have been killed in the aftermath of the coup. A remarkable political experiment has come to an end.
The 1973 Chilean coup d'etat was a military overthrow of the Democratic Socialist President of Chile, Salvador Allende, and his Popular Unity coalition government. Allende, who had been described as the first Marxist to be democratically elected president in a Latin American liberal democracy, faced significant social unrest, political tension with the opposition-controlled National Congress of Chile, which passed a resolution in August 1983 condemning Allende for his authoritarian tendencies, creation of militant groups, and attempts to take control of the military. The resolution called on, quote, the President of the Republic, Ministers of State, and members of the armed and police forces to put an immediate end to breaches of the Constitution by Allende, unquote. On September 11, 1973, a group of military officers, led by General Augusto Pinochet, seized power in a coup ending civilian rule.
On September 4, 1970, Allende's Popular Unity coalition, composed primarily of the Communist and Socialist parties, won the elections with 36.2% of the vote. Popular Unity coalition promised to carry out those reforms and beyond. Its program was explicit: dismantle the capitalist economy and open the way to a socialist society. Before Allende could be inaugurated, opposition took a violent form. The chief of the Chilean armed forces was assassinated after refusing to participate in a plot to overthrow the government. High-level military personnel and members of the opposition National Party were implicated in the conspiracy. On November 4, 1970, Salvador Allende was installed as the constitutional president of Chile.
Mejor alimentación con desayuno y almuerzo.
More than 1 million people live in the slums around Santiago. Almost anything the government can do here would be an improvement. But these people also know how to do things for themselves.
Tiene que saber que aquí en Chile se eligió un camino un camino que pensamos que debiera ser el justo, un camino por el que pensamos llegar a encontrar la felicidad, llegar a liberarnos del hambre, de la miseria, de la opresión, llegar a ser libres. Nosotros, los pobres de Chile, pensamos que tenemos derecho a vivir, que tenemos derecho también a realizarnos plenamente. Nosotros pensamos que esta es la verdad y por ella vamos a morir. No tenemos nada más que perder.
Años aquí nosotros, los trabajadores, hemos sido explotados en diferentes maneras nosotros aquí. En primer lugar, sufrían nuestros hijos, no sufrían nuestras esposas. No alcanzaba el salario para mantenernos, no alcanzaba el salario para dar educación a nuestros hijos. Al ver de esto, entonces todos los trabajadores que somos, hemos tomado esta determinación, compañeros. Nosotros sí hemos tomado esta determinación de tomar los predios y las empresas, jamás nunca volverán nuevamente a sus propietarios. Las defenderemos hasta la muerte.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Have you said anything, Ron, with regard to the ITT in Chile? How did you handle it?
The State Department dealt with that today.
Oh, they did?
Yes, sir.
What did they do? Deny it?
They denied it, but they were cautious on how they dealt with the Corey statement because they were afraid that might backfire.
Why, what did Corey say?
Well, Corey said that he had received instructions to do anything short of a Dominican-type, alleged to have said that.
Corey did?
Right.
So how did that get out? He put that out?
Well, Anderson received that from some source. Al Haig is sitting with me now.
Oh, yeah.
It was a report contained in an IT&T
oh, yeah.
thing, but...
Well, he was instructed to.
Well, but...
I hoped it, but he just failed. That's his main problem. He should have kept Allende from getting in.
Well, in any event, State has denied it today, and they referred to your comments about Latin America and Chile,
fine.
And so you just refer to that on that one.
Fine, okay.
Yes, sir.
That's President Nixon speaking in 1972. Peter Kornblue of the National Security Archive. Can you explain to us what Nixon's talking about here and put it in context of the U.S. role in destabilizing Chile?
Richard Nixon and Henry Kissinger launched a preemptive strike against Salvador Allende. They decided to stop him from being inaugurated as president of Chile. He hadn't even set foot in the Moneda Palace when Nixon and Kissinger just simply decided to change the fate of Chile. Nixon instructed the CIA to make the Chilean economy scream, to use as many men as possible. The first plan was to actually keep Allende from being inaugurated as president, and then when that plan failed after the assassination of the Chilean commander-in-chief that the United States was behind, General Rene Schneider, Kissinger then went to Nixon and said, Allende's now president. The State Department thinks we can coexist with him, but I want you to make sure you tell everybody in the U.S. government that we cannot let him succeed, because he has legitimacy. He's democratically elected. And suppose other governments decide to follow in his footsteps, like a government like Italy. What are we going to do then? What are we going to say when other countries start to democratically elect other Salvador Allende's? The world balance of power will change, he wrote to Nixon in a secret document, and our interest in it will be changed fundamentally.
In September 1972, the Kennecott Corporation launched a campaign to block the sale of Chilean copper around the world. In hearings before a U.S. Senate subcommittee, IT&T admitted discussing various plans with the CIA for undermining the Popular Unity government. Its aim was to force Allende's resignation. In December 1972, Allende took the case of his beleaguered country to the United Nations.
También somos víctimas de una clara agresión. dos empresas que integran el núcleo central de las grandes compañías transnacionales, que clavaron sus garras en mi país, la International Telegraph and Telephone Company y la Kennecott Copper Corporation, se propusieron manejar nuestra vida política. En junio último, de distintos aspectos de un nuevo plan de acción que la misma ITT presentara al gobierno norteamericano con el propósito de derrocar a mi gobierno en el plazo de 6 meses. Se proponía el estrangulamiento económico, el sabotaje diplomático, el desorden social, crear el pánico en la población para que al ser sobrepasado el gobierno, las Fuerzas Armadas fueran impulsadas a quebrar el régimen democrático e imponer una dictadura. Señores delegados, yo acuso ante la conciencia del mundo a la ITT de pretender provocar en mi patria la guerra civil, grado máximo de desintegración para un país. Esto es lo que nosotros calificamos como intervención imperialista. Cientos de miles y miles de chilenos me despidieron con fervor al salir de mi patria y me entregaron el mensaje que he traído a esta Asamblea Mundial. Estoy seguro que ustedes, representantes de las naciones de la tierra, sabrán comprender mis palabras. Es nuestra confianza en nosotros lo que incrementa nuestra fe en los grandes valores de la humanidad y en la certeza de que esos valores tendrán que prevalecer, no podrán ser destruidos.
In early September 1973, Allende floated the idea of resolving their constitutional crisis with a plebiscite. His speech, outlining such a solution, was scheduled for September 11th, but he was never able to deliver it. On the same day, the Chilean military, under Pinochet, aided by the United States and its CIA, staged a coup against Allende. Historian Peter Wynne described the 1973 coup as one of the most violent events in Chilean history. It led to a series of human rights abuses in Chile under Pinochet, who had initiated a brutal and long-lasting campaign of political suppression through torture, murder, and exile, which significantly weakened leftist opposition to the military dictatorship of Chile, which ruled the country until 1990. Due to the coup's occurrence on the same day as the September 11 attacks in the United States, it has sometimes been referred to as the other 9/11. Just before the capture of La Avenida, the presidential palace, with gunfire and explosions clearly audible in the background, Allende gave his farewell speech to Chileans on live radio, speaking of himself in the past tense, of his love for Chile, and of his deep faith in its future.
La última oportunidad en que me pueda dirigir a ustedes. La Fuerza Aérea ha bombardeado las torres de Radio Portales y Radio Corporación. Mis palabras no tienen amargura sino decepción, y serán ellas el castigo moral para los que han traicionado el juramento que hicieron. Soldados de Chile, comandantes en jefe, titulares, y el almirante Merino que se ha autodesignado, más el señor Mendoza, general rastrero, que solo ayer manifestara su fidelidad fidelidad y lealtad al gobierno, también será nominado director general de Carabineros. Ante estos hechos, solo me cabe decirle a los trabajadores, yo no voy a renunciar. Colocado en un tránsito histórico, pagaré con mi vida la lealtad del pueblo. Y les digo que tengo la certeza que la semilla que entregáramos a la conciencia digna de miles y miles de chilenos no podrá ser cegada definitivamente. Tienen la fuerza, podrán avasallarnos, pero no se detienen los procesos sociales ni con el crimen ni con la fuerza. La historia es nuestra y la hacen los pueblos. Trabajadores de mi patria, quiero agradecerles la lealtad que siempre tuvieron, la confianza que depositaron en un hombre que solo fue intérprete de grandes anhelos de justicia, que empeñó su palabra de que respetaría la Constitución y la ley, y así lo hizo. En este momento definitivo, el último en que yo pueda dirigirme a ustedes, quiero que aprovechen la lección. El capital foráneo, el imperialismo, unido a la reacción, creó el clima para que las Fuerzas Armadas rompieran su tradición, la que le enseñara Schneider y que reafirmara el comandante Araya. Víctimas del mismo sector social que hoy estará en sus casas esperando con mano ajena reconquistar el poder para seguir defendiendo sus granjerías y sus privilegios. Me dirijo sobre todo a la modesta mujer de nuestra tierra, a la campesina que creyó en nosotros, a la obrera que trabajó más, a la madre que supo nuestra preocupación por los niños. Me dirijo a los profesionales de la patria, a los profesionales patriotas, a los que hace días estuvieron trabajando contra la sedición auspiciada por los colegios profesionales, colegios de clase, para defender también las ventajas que la sociedad capitalista le dio. Me dirijo a la juventud, a aquellos que cantaron, entregaron su alegría y su espíritu de lucha. Me dirijo al hombre de Chile, al obrero, al campesino, al intelectual, aquellos que serán perseguidos, porque en nuestro país el fascismo ya estuvo hace muchas horas presente en los atentados terroristas, volando los puentes, cortando la línea férrea, destruyendo los oleoductos y los gasoductos, frente al silencio que tenían la obligación de proteger. La historia lo superará. Seguramente Radio Magallanes será callada y el mital tranquilo de mi voz no llegará a ustedes, no importa. Lo seguirán oyendo. Siempre estaré junto a ustedes. Por lo menos mi recuerdo es la del hombre digno que fue leal a la ley. El pueblo debe defender, pero no sacrificar. El pueblo no debe dejarse arrasar ni acribillar, pero tampoco puede humillar. Trabajadores de mi patria, tengo fe en Chile y su destino. Superará otros hombres este momento gris y amargo donde la traición pretende imponer. Llegan ustedes sabiendo que mucho más temprano que tarde de nuevo abrirán las grandes alamedas por donde pase el hombre libre para construir una sociedad mejor. ¡Viva Chile! ¡Viva el pueblo! ¡Vivan los trabajadores! Esta fue mi
stated that his commitment to Chile did not allow him to take an easy way out, and he would not be used as a propaganda tool by those he called traitors. He refused an offer of safe passage. Juan Seoane, chief of President Allende's bodyguard at the time of the events, and who was with Allende until moments before his death, declared in an interview reported by the University of Chile, Allende began to say goodbye to us, one by one. He gave us a hug and told us, "Thank you for everything, comrade. Thank you for everything." And then he said that he was going to leave last. He walked to the end of the line with his AK, turned around behind a wall, and then he shouted, "Allende doesn't surrender!" The shot was heard as 15 meters from where we were. Shortly afterwards, the coup plotters announced that Allende had committed suicide. An official announcement declared that the weapon he had used was an automatic rifle. Before his death, he had been photographed several times holding an AK-47, a gift from Fidel Castro. He was found dead with that gun, according to contemporaneous statements made by officials in the Pinochet regime. In an interview with David Frost, Allende's first cousin, Isabel Allende, said that at a family lunch 9 days before his death, Allende had said that he would either stay till the end of his term of presidency or he would be taken out feet first. Lingering doubts regarding the manner of Allende's death persisted throughout the period of the Pinochet regime. Many Chileans and independent observers refused to accept on faith the government's version of events amid speculation that Allende had been murdered by government agents. Pinochet had long left power and died when in 2011, a Chilean court opened a criminal investigation into the circumstances of Allende's death. The ongoing criminal investigation led to a May 2011 court order that Allende's remains be exhumed and autopsied by an international team of experts. Results of the autopsy were officially released in mid-July 2011. The team of experts concluded that the former president had shot himself with an AK-47 assault rifle.
The phrase that one hears most on the lips of the members of the junta is national reconstruction. It's become an obsessive phrase, and one sometimes thinks it's a substitute for action. But when national reconstruction starts, this is where it's going to have to begin. The ruins of the Moneda Palace, where President Allende lost his life. It's the symbol both of the old era and the new.
This was pinpoint bombing of such astonishing accuracy that even an Israeli I met here was filled with admiration. The buildings all around are high and close in on the little palace, yet they're scarcely touched. Some of the rockets actually went straight through the front door. They were all concentrated on the front, ground and first floor offices. The army is diverting all its time and its considerable force to hunting down the remaining Marxists and Allende sympathizers. Arrests continue day and night, and are made for weird reasons. Last night, 60 people were taken in for spreading false rumors